slot 1, and we'll be continuing from last class, the session 5 of slot 1 piano class. And today we'll be starting to play a piece. The piece is called Furlies by Beethoven, and we'll be playing the first part today. The second part's not for our level; it's a bit more advanced. But the first part itself is quite difficult if you are new to the piece. So We'll be starting the piece today. We'll be trying to play the entirety of the first part, and before that we'll just do a recap of what we did last class. So last class we did a few scales. We did C major, G major, and F major. So, so C major was from C an octave up or a few octaves up. I'll just play. That was C major. F major was from F, and G major was from G. And there was we played an octave. We played 2 octaves. So we played all these octaves. For C major, F major, and G major. We practiced them. We practiced the chords. C major, the tonic is. For F major, it is. For G major, it is. We practiced reading notes, which I'll just make up on the board smallly. We talked about the treble clef, which looked like this. We talked about the staff first, which had 5 lines. 3, 4, 5. We talked about the treble clef, which looked like this. Talked about how the notes look. They are like on lines or in between the lines. All of them are the same size. Here the gap is a bit bigger, so I'm just drawing them bigger. We talked about crotchets, which look like this. Minims, which look like this. Crotchets and minims. Crotchet is for 1 beat. Minims are for 2 beats. We talked about key signatures. If I write 4, 4 here, this is the time signature of the staff. 4, 4, 4, the top 4 means the number of beats in 1 bar. So it's like a bar. The entire piece is in bars. So in 1 bar, the number of beats is signified by the top note. Top note is 4, means 4 beats in 1 bar. And what type of beat it is, that is determined by the bottom note. And the bottom note is another 4. And that 4 represents crotchet. So 4 on 4 means 4 crotchets in 1 bar. And a crotchet is for 1 beat, so it goes 4 beats in a bar. So this is what we did last class. As a recap, we did more of this. We did the scales as well, and now we'll be starting to play a new piece for release. It's quite hard. I mean, it's not that hard. The beginning part is not that hard. The second part is hard, but we won't be playing that since it's not in our level. As in, it's not for us basically right now. But the first part is quite hard in its own. So that once we get to play it properly, it'll be quite good. It'll be impressive. So I'll just write the name of the piece and the first part notes. I'll also be sending the sheet music on the group. You don't have to read the sheet music, but you can just look at it and see how it's written. It'll give you a good idea. And I'll be also interpreting how it's written in the next class and in this class also, if I have the time. But yes, so for this, it's the name of the piece. And the key of the piece is in A minor. So if you remember, A minor is a relative minor of C major. The relative minor of C major. So it has no sharps and no flats, all white keys. But in the actual piece, you have black keys as well. You have sharps and flats, even though it's an A minor. And those sharps and flats, which are not in the key signature and they just appear randomly, are called accidentals. Let me just write that here. So accidentals are sharps or flats that do not appear, that are not there in the actual key signature, but they appear in the piece, and they are called accidentals, those sharps or flats. So starting off the first section with the right hand part, with the right hand. So it starts with an E, E, E flat, B, C, G. So this is your first part for the right hand, and your continuation is C, E, A, B, E, A flat, B, C. So this part, and then once again this first part repeats. It starts off from a B, stops here. Then you have some sort of repetition. Then it ends differently. E, C. So this is the first part of the right hand. So this is the first part of the right hand section. If you were to hear it, it would sound something like this. Let's increase the volume. Just to give you an idea of the piece, it sounds something like this, the first hand part. So the first part would sound, it's quite nice, and this is the right hand of the first section of the first part. So this sounds, let me just make a small correction. This note is actually an E. So this is the first section of the right hand part, and I would sound E, E flat, E, E flat, E. So E, E flat, E, E flat, E, and then B, D, C, G, B, D, C, G. So let me just show you the piano. E, E flat, E, E flat, E, B, D, C, G. So you can I use my fourth finger for E, and then third for E flat, fourth for E, third for E flat, fourth for E, first finger, thumb, that is B, third for D, second for C, and again thumb for A. So this is how I do the first section of the right hand part, and the next part, which is, let me show you the board. It's C, E, A, B, E, A flat, B, C. So C, E, A, B would sound like this. C, E, A, B, and the next part, E, A flat, B, C would sound E, A flat, B, C. So C, E, A, B, and E, A flat, B, C. So let me show you the piano once again. So C, first finger, E, index, A, that is the middle finger, B, ring finger, E, index, sorry, first finger, A flat, index finger, B, middle finger, and with your fourth finger you press C. So if I do that, it would go. Once again. And then from the first again, if I were to play, that's how that would sound in the first section of that. And if you look at the next part over here on the board, you have an E, and you have the thing is, when we did the first part, we had one E flat, the second E flat, and the third E. So it ended on the third E, as you see, and then you start off with the second melody, with your continuation of the melody. The ending here is on the third E. And if we look at the repetition here, this is, let's say that let's take this as the first E instead of this. So first E flat, second E flat, third E. So if we exclude this E, we get the exact same pattern of notes as the original part, as the first line. First 1 1 2 2 3 ends on the third E, and here again 1 1 2 2 3 ends on the third E and continues. So if we exclude this top E, we get the exact same pattern of notes as the first line. So this means that this is basically this E, which you see here, is like an auxiliary note. It sort of supports the melody. And this E, let me show you on the board. So that E, the beginning E, we play the E right here for the first line. Now that the beginning E for the third line will have to be played at the bottom. It's one octave lower. So this, and then you go up. So let me just show it, make it a bit more clear. This E at the top, the first E of the third line, this one, let me just make an arrow down like this. So this arrow would signify that this E is actually one octave lower than what we played normally. And the normal pitch of this music that we were playing for the first line is high. It's the high octaves. You have the high pitch. It means that it's one octave above your middle C. So middle C is this right in the middle. Let me show you the keyboard. Middle C is right here in the middle and one octave higher. And this part, everything here is your high octaves. And we started playing here. That means it's situated in the high part of the piano, not in the middle section, not in the bass section, in the high section. So when I put that down arrow on that first E of the third line, instead of playing this high E, I'm supposed to play the low E for that one E only. So I'm supposed to go back one octave down and play that, and then continue on with the rest of the melody, whatever that says. But for that one E, I'm supposed to play that one octave lower. So if we look at the notes here, so we have the exact same melody, E flat, E flat, E. If we exclude the bottom E, get E flat, E flat, E. So the exact same melody is there. And so this E at the first is actually just the middle E, and that's like a supporting E. So you press this E. Once you press it, you go back to the melody again on the high side. So you press the middle E, and then you go back to the melody on the high side again. So to give an idea of how that sounds, it would sound. So you press, and then you go back. So you press, and then you go back to your melody. So the starting again, the first line we went. The next. You press this. So you press that, and then you continue on with the melody. That's what the first E here is in the third line, the first E. So E flat, E flat, E, exact same thing. B, D, C, G, B, D, C, G, exact same thing. Next part, C, E, A, B, again C, E, A, B, same continuation. But here, the last line is E, C, B, A. And here, In the second line, it's E, A flat, B, C. So that means it's a bit different. And yes, it's different. Let me show you when you play it. The last line, C, B, A, B, and E, C, B, A would sound like this. The ending, those 4 notes that end the phrase, here it's like a finishing phrase. So it goes, so it's finished. It's perfect and it's finished. In the second line, if we look, it's not finished, it's still continuing. So it sounds something like this. So it's like imperfect and it's not finished for the second line, the ending. For the last line, the ending part, it's finished. And that's why it sounds finished. E, C, B, A. So if I were to play this entire thing, it would sound. That's how it would sound for the entire right-hand section of the first part. It's just the first section of the first part. And now the left-hand part, let me just keep this. So let me just play it again. That's how it would sound. And so the notes are on the board, and you can refer to the notes if you have any doubts. And the recording will also be there. So that's the right-hand section of the first section of the first part. This is the first section. And the next part which we'll be doing is the left-hand part for this part. Obviously, it doesn't go on its own. The left hand is also there. So let me just play the left hand and the right hand together so that you know how it sounds. That's how it sounds. The left hand, just 3 chords. There's 3 chords. There's 3 arpeggiatos. There's 3 of them. Only those 3. And this, I think you'll be able to reach it. This is 1 octave. The first one, let me just write everything on the board before we start off. For the left hand part, 1 left hand. The first part is, so it's A, E, A. E, E, B flat. A, E, A. And it's sort of like, this is not a chord. Don't take these as chords, these are individual notes. And you have to like move up them. You have to like play along and just like play one after the other. Just sort of move up the notes, like how I played. Let me just show you. A, E, A, E, E, B flat, and A, E, A. And all of this is in the low part. This is the left hand section. So the left hand is like the accompaniment, so it should sound low. So it's somewhere here. This is middle C, and this is the low section. And that's where the left hand is here, the low section. The A, E, A, A, E, A, A, E, A. So A with your pinky, E with your index finger, and A again with your thumb. Now E, E, B flat was the second one. And for that, we move lower. We move to the low E. So this is your bass section here. So it's middle C, your bass section, and this is your low section. So middle C, we play the first continuation of notes in the bass section, A, E, A. Now we move to the low section. The E is in the low section. So pinky on low E. The next E is 1 octave higher. So it's in the bass section. And then the B flat is higher. It's right here. I mean, it's actually an A flat mistake. So you go here. It might be a bit hard for you in the beginning, from E to E, and then you have to cross over. So just cross over and hit the flat. It might be a bit tricky in the beginning because this itself is one octave. And once you play the nose, you have to like cross over after one octave and then hit the flat note. Let me just show the board. Maybe a slight correction here. It's not a B flat, it's an A flat. It's an A flat. So makes it a bit easier. A flat instead of a B flat. B flat's a bit far out as well. So E, E, B flat, A flat. So E, E, A flat. From E, it's a low E with your pinky, then bass E, and then bass B flat. Sorry, bass A flat. Always crossover. Just do it a few times. And then the original chord, the original one, which was A, C, A, E, A, A, E, A, the low part, the bass part, A, E, A. Then let's play the other one again, B, that was E, E, A flat, E, E, A flat, A, E, A, E, E, A flat, A, E, A. Just play it a few times. So that's how you do this section. And if you were to play it together with the right hand, it would sound. I mean, no, it would sound. I will show you how it would sound, but how you have to play it like the rhythm. You have to play it like this. So you start off when you play the A, you start with your left hand. So I started off. I didn't play anything for this section. When I pressed the A, I started off with my left hand. So and right when I finished my left hand, I went on to the next phrase of my right hand. So right when I finished my first left hand part, I went on with the right hand phrase. So right when I finished my left hand part, I went to the next part of my right hand. And when I play the last note of my right hand again, I have to start my left hand. The rhythm is always like on the last note of the right hand. Whenever you play the last note of the right hand, you play your left hand melody, whatever it is, you just play it. And when you finish your left hand melody, you start the next phrase of the right hand. So first part of the right hand done. And when you play the last note, you start. I finish my left hand. Let me go into the next hand part of the right hand. Last note here. Now right hand. Last note of the right hand. So let me play them together. So let me say the notes E, E flat, E, E flat, E, D, D, C. When you play A, play them together. Now C, B, C, E, A. When you play B, play them together. And now E, A flat, B, and when you play C, play them together. So when you do this, you're going to get them to play together on the last note of the right hand. And right when you finish your left hand, you play the right hand part. So you have to just play them continuously, like smoothly. Don't break them. Don't make them. Don't have them with breaks. Just play them continuously, or legato, like how we discussed. Once you play that, you'll get the flow. And in the right hand part should be with legato. Don't break the right hand part. Make it smooth, and make sure that it's not broken. Yes, so as we continue, now we'll move on to the next, so second section of the first part. And let me just erase this. You can copy this down. I mean, you don't have to copy it down, you can just remember it. Just note, let me just make a correction. it's an A, like how I played it. Write an A here, and yeah. So you can, this will be the recording. You can just like take a screenshot maybe from the recording, or you can take like just take it down from the recording itself. This is the first section of the right hand. And once we've done this, we move on to the next section. This piece is in A minor once again, and plus few accidentals. For example, E flat, A flat, all of those flats were accidentals. You know, they're not there in the key signature. The time signature of this piece, the time signature, that is the number that you, like, remember when I talked about the staff with 5 lines, and you have the treble clef and all of that. There's a number here like 4 on 4. The time signature of this piece is 3/8. The piece is in 3/8, and just a piece of information. You don't have to know, I mean, you don't have to learn what that is. It's just like 4 on 4. 8 means 8 refers to a quaver, which I discussed. 3 refers to the number of beats in a bar. So this time it's 3 beats in a bar. And what type of beat? It's an 8th note or a quaver. A quaver is half of a crotchet. So crotchet is like 1 beat. So a quaver is like half a beat. So you have 3 half beats in a bar. That's what this says. And that's the time signature of this piece. And we move on to the next section of the right hand. So second section, right hand. And let me just hold right hand. Let me just this. The second section of the right hand would first start off B, C, D, E. And this would be the first phrase. Maybe I just have to erase this part as well, just to make sure, because there won't be enough space. And then you would have G, F, E, D. All of this is just one phrase. Just continue it. Then you have F, E, D, C, and then we have just continuing another phrase, E, F, E, D, C, B. And this is where it stops actually. It's like one continuous phrase. It's not like one phrase, one phrase, one phrase, one phrase. It's just one continuous phrase. So you continue with the melody. And this is the right hand part of the second section, which we'll talk about now. And the left hand part, the second section. There's also a bit more after this, which connects the first and second sections, which we'll talk about as well. So just the left hand is the first part of C, G, C. So 3 notes again, all 3 notes. Okay, so they're a bit hard, but we can do this, the same thing. G, G, B. Then A, E, A. And then the next, and then after this, you might realize this B, C, D, E corresponds to C, G, C. And then obviously on the last note, we play the 3 notes as I discussed in the first part. On the last note, you play your left hand 3 note combo, whatever. So on E, you play this. On E, on D, you play this. F, E, D, C. On C, you play this. So what do you play on B? I have written the thing for B, and that is a bit. I'll just leave a box for that. Won't be doing that right now. I'll do that after we finish this, because that's it's a bit slightly confusing. I'll just show you that section. I played in the beginning, but I'll show you how that sounds. So this part I'll just play, and I also play the box part, and you'll realize what I mean. So that's the box there. So that's the box. It's like it's an E, all E's, just E's all over, and you do them in a certain rhythm. And before we do that part, we'll obviously have to do this part, the easy bit of the second section, the first section, second part. The right hand goes B, C, D, E. So B, C, D, E, and the next part of the right hand goes G, F, E, D. So G and then F, E, D. So once again, B, C, D, E, G, F, E, D. Then you come down, you just come down all the way. F, E, D, C, B, D, C, B. So once you do this, let me do it once again. B, C, D, E, G, F, E, D, F, E, D, C, and E, D, C, B. So that's how you do this. The right hand section of this first part's second section. So let me just play it without. Let me just play the sound, and you'll see how it sounds. That's how it sounds. And for the left hand, the first chord. You might recognize this chord, C, G, C. It's the tonic of C major. And this is the tonic key of C major, C, G, C. Remember the tonic was C, E, G. And now we just play this extra C at the top. We just remove the middle E, we don't need the E as well. That's the left hand. So the key was in A minor. The first section was in A minor. We played the key chord of A minor. And then in the second section, it becomes more of a C major. So C major, starts off with a C major. And what's the relationship between A minor and C major? Well, A minor is the relative minor of C major, as we talked about. That's why you have this change going on. So B, C, D, E, when you play the E, you play your C major, C, G, C. So B, C, D. And now you do G, F, E, D. You do that. You do the coming down thing. So you just come down all the time. So G, F, E, D. When you play G, F, E, D, the chord here is, so G, low G. We play C major in bass. Now this G major chord, if you remember G major, G, E, D, is the key tonic of G major. And this is like a inversion, not an inversion, it's the key chord of G major, G, G, B, G, G, B, as it's written here. And the G here is low G. C major was here, bass, and the G we were starting off with is low G. So when we go, this is how we're supposed to play. G here, bass G is the next key, and the next key is the B here. So you have to like change, like cross over with your index finger. Just cross over with your index finger. So when you play the D, you play your G, G, B. So you go. So from that beginning part, it would go. And when you play the D, you cross over. Not cross over, you play a key, and then you cross over with your index finger. The next part is obviously you just come down with your right hand. So you go. So you just come down and you just come down and come down three times. So after your GGB thing, you come down with the right hand, G, you play F, E, D, C, and when you play C, you play your chord. which is AC, which is A, E, A, the exact same chord from the first section, the tonic of A minor without the C. A, E, A. You go, when you play this part, come down, you play the C, you play A minor. So, right when you play the end note, you play your chord. So, from the beginning of the second part, it would sound. And now the right hand, obviously, it comes down even more. From it comes down once again, E, D, C, B. And when it says B, you go. And it's a bit hard to do that. I mean, it's easy. It's just E, 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 and E. All of them are E's, like just octaves apart. But the rhythm you have to figure out. You'll have to understand, which I might continue that in the next class as well. But for now, you have to practice from the beginning here to this part. So let me just play that from the beginning to this part. And if you have a pedal, you can use the pedal. It sort of sustains the effect. It sustains. If you don't have a pedal, doesn't matter. Just play legato, and remember to play with dynamics. And that's the continuation, which I'll continue next part, the next class. And so this is what we've done in this class. Remember to practice all of the things. You can ignore the box. Don't worry. I'll